Hi guys, welcome to Mala's Verse. Welcome if you're new here, welcome if you have been here before. Thank you so much for joining me in today's video. And the reading today is inspired by a song that I used to like years ago and I came across it again. So the song is When Love Takes Over by David Guetta and Kelly Rowland. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing her name incorrectly. But the first stanza itself, inspired this reading about reviving your lust for life. So when love takes over, when it comes to probably your own life, your own self, and how to revive that for yourself if you're feeling stuck. And I specifically went through the first paragraph here to break down the reading. So it's complicated. I know it is. It's the first line. That helped me address the part where you are certainly facing complications right now, where there's a mixed bag of energies, and then looking at one specific things within that as to what is the main complication or specific complication coming up, and then how can you find clarity and ease around it. And then there is this line, I think, you about waiting for a long time as well within the first stanza itself. So that helped me recognize this question as to what could help you revive your lust for life. And so finding out that dormant treasure within you and applying it to your life so that you can revive that lust for life. And then we go on to how you would be seeing this coming up in your life, the signs around it, that this is actualizing, that this lust for life has been revived for you, and an additional inspirational message from your highest self. And that's the breakdown of the reading. So I hope that you guys enjoy it and find something helpful here or inspirational. So as usual, we have 3 piles to choose from, and the images will show up on your screen now. Take a few deep breaths in and breathe out through your mouth, letting your awareness guide you to whichever pile you are drawn to. And I will see you in your reading. Hi, pile number 1. If you chose the first image, this is your reading. So as I did talk about how the breakdown of the reading is and how it came about as an inspiration from a song I used to like, which is When Love Takes Over. I almost forgot about it. So the first line or the first few lines address about complications, and that's the first question that we are addressing. So what is the complication that you are facing right now, and specifically what area of your life and how it's playing out. So we have fear and friendship, which is so interesting. And fear says, I realize that I'm testing my resolve to live in the energy of love. And friendship says, I understand that a friend is in my life for a reason. Now, I have my notes as I did in the previous reading, so I'm going to go through them. So, the complications, first of all, that came out was, literally just going by these 2 words, fear and friendship, is about losing out on friends, is what I was receiving. And especially this could be as simple as you are setting healthy boundaries, and this may cause your friends to feel a little irritated, agitated, and you fear that you might lose out on friends. And also, because I did take out a specific card, like not a specific card, but a card for what specific complication this could be, or what specific pain point could be here, and that's Six of Wands. It's so interesting because Six of Wands is about success, it's about recognition. So I do perceive that this pile might fear being successful because you think that you may leave behind your friends, or that your friends might feel that way, that you have left them behind. So there's a fear of recognizing your own success and committing to it, because there are complications here. I feel like there's this term is coming to my mind, or the phrase that's coming to my mind is, the devil is in the details. And so there's something about you experiencing true success, and if you do so, it's going to trigger your friends, or it's going to just, I'm also getting the word, offend some of your friends. So that's interesting, because now then you have to figure out, are these your friends or are these frenemies, right? And I don't perceive that everyone here has friend, I mean, like every one of your friend is a frenemy, but there is certainly that duplicitous or an ambiguous energy also around friends here. I mean, their intentions towards you, and I feel like many of you might even be recognizing this thing, who are your true friends and who are not your true friends, who is actually your well wisher. Another thing that was coming up was also that your there is a taboo in something that you would want to pursue or you would be successful in, which is something that you are fearful of expressing, or a taboo that you are fearful of embracing or moving forward with because you think your friends will leave you, or just in general, even if it's not friends, maybe it's well wishers or colleagues or batchmates that you think would, look down upon you or not respect you. Something around that is definitely coming in. And if you break the box of beliefs around success, it will hamper your friendship. So that's also coming up because, the fear energy, this illustration here was giving me the energy of a square. So being restricted, being limited, and fearing that if you break that box by doing something unconventional, maybe you actualize success for yourself with much more ease, and that could also offend some friends because all of us, we do not come with the same blessings. And yeah, but I think this is also pointing towards privileges in some way, shape, or form. So you're afraid of actually, diving into the strength of your own privileges and making conscious use of it. So you are altogether discarding that privilege. You're not even using it for the greater good, or you're not even using it for anything at all. So that's because I feel like this is very strongly coming up, that you using your privileges or your strengths is going to trigger the people that you care for. So that is a mixed bag of complications that I'm perceiving here. So these friends could very well be even family members or cousins that you consider as friends. Now, how can you have more clarity and ease with this? So for that, we have, just a second, I created a very big spread for this. We have 15 cards to go through. And so, anyway, so we have Knight of Cups, the Ten of Wands, and the Nine of Pentacles as to how you can have clarity and ease with this. So, it's so interesting because I got with the Knight of Cups, the first thing that came to my mind was mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all? That's the quote from Snow White, right? And the evil witch in that movie or story, rather. And here, the fairest of them all is not like beauty. This is like fairness in terms of equality, in terms of who is being honest, and who has integrity or who doesn't have integrity, right? So I perceive that this is a question you might be asking your own self, or you feel like people will accuse you of that you do not have fair, that like your chances are favorable, or okay, it's a mixed energy. It's not a mixed energy, it's a lot of words that's coming through. So essentially, people might think that you have an unfair advantage, that you have basically a lot of help on your side, and so you fear stepping into or even accessing that help, that strength for yourself, because you know you fear that you will lose out on connections. So but that's what, the question, mirror, mirror on the wall, who's the fairest of them all, is not being asked by the protagonist. It's being asked by the antagonist in the movie or in the series or in the story, whatever it is, right? So it's not a question of someone who's a well-wisher who wants to change the world or who wants to simply create kindness or peace in the world. It's not a question asked by that person. It's, albeit it is a good question to ask, but it's not coming from the intention of growth or clarity or peace, right? So that's something you need to look at. And then immediately what I received was, this feels like this person is looking into a magic cup. So I wondered if there are stories around magic cups, because I can't recollect any as of now. So how can you have more clarity around this? Stop justifying that you are a caring or a nice person, or that you are honest and that you have integrity, because it is inherently in you. You are a person like that. You don't have to time and again go out and prove that to anybody. You are so kind and magical, just as you are. Looking into the cup, you will see small magical fishes, marine beings, magical light reflecting the divinity within you, and your honest intentions. And with the Ten of Wands being the next card up after the Nine of Pentacles, it's just indicating that the more you realize this divinity within you, that's the last milestone you have to cross. Because Ten of Wands is such an exhausting energy. It's an energy of carrying a lot of load for sure, but it's also an end point, right? It's the end line also. And for you to reach that end point is just what is only, is just a matter of you recognizing the divinity within you, and not through the need of wanting to prove if you are a fair and just person or not. It's in your intentions. When you set the intention from a place of integrity, from honesty, from consciousness, it will reflect in your energy, it will reflect in the work that you put out, it will reflect in the way you just are, right? You do not have to specifically go out and prove it. And this in turn will help you lighten the load, and also realize how, because we have the Nine of Pentacles, it will help you realize how resourceful, equipped, capable you are on your own. With the Nine of Pentacles, taking spiritual baths will be very helpful. Grounding could be very helpful for you, pile number one. You will not know the strength you have until and unless you let yourself explore the depths of who you are by taking actions wholeheartedly on what you want. The Nine of Pentacles is just so serene and peaceful here. So that is the energy that was giving me. You need to take spiritual baths if you can, in some way, shape, or form, or just in setting intentions with water to cleanse your body, cleanse your energy field. And a simpler task could be actually consuming the right amount of water for your body on a daily basis. And the way she's moving, just she's just speaking out of the pond or this water body. It's like here the knight is just looking into the water. Here this being or this person is this energy, or this energy is actually submerged and they're looking out. It's like they have not just accepted that, and they are in full allowance of their true nature, and they feel fulfilled and resourceful, and they're peeking out and looking into the world. What else is out there, what's fun to create, what's fun to do, or is there something new and exciting coming through. So that's coming out of an intention or an interest to create something new, not out of lack, right? So that is how you can have clarity and ease with all of this, to first of all stop justifying that you are a nice person. And by the way, I do perceive that this reading is going to go longer, so take your beverage of choice and enjoy the reading. Now we have, what is this treasure, that dormant treasure within you that could help you, act. Sorry. So now what we have is the dormant treasure within you, which will help you recognize or reignite or revive your lust for life. And for that we have Ten of Swords and Eight of Wands. Such intense energies. I mean, both of them are very, very intense energies. So I just want to put it out there in one sentence for you, pile number one. That dormant and treasure that you have is the speed of recovery, speed of getting back up again and walking on your path with surety and with much more passion. That is the dormant gift that you have. How you can, apply it to your life. For that we have the star. We do have the star showing up for you here as well. So star is definitely a strong energy for you here, pile number one, which is to be more hopeful, to be more, to look forward to positive things in life, or just a positive future in general, which is difficult nowadays. But that's what, you have to tune your mindset in that way, pile number one. Especially I'm sorry, so what I wanted to mention was, um, Capricorn and Aquarius are very strong signs here, zodiac signs. So maybe you have those placements. Or Aquarius Capricorn season could also be very impactful for you. So now we have the star and the 10 of pentacles and the two of wands telling us how can you apply this treasure into your life, this dormant treasure into your life. So tune into the frequency of love and appreciation. And this immediately reminds me of Abraham Hicks. I wonder if you've heard of them. So if you are open to their teachings, which is about law of attraction, and also there is this tool that they use, which is, the emotional scale. And apart from them, many people have talked about it. So if you are open to them, you can definitely listen to their conversations, their teachings. Maybe something inspires you, right? So they talk about how each everything is energy. So every word is also energy and frequency and vibration. All of these things are associated with energy, right? So choosing frequencies and vibrations deliberately that light in your heart and your body is very important for this file. So you can do that in any way that basically applying this concept to your life in any way you feel is fit for you or works for you. You don't necessarily have to listen to Abraham Hicks, but certainly bringing in more light fun energy into your life deliberately is very important, so that you recognize how fast and actually easy it is for you to move on after something that dies, or something that ends. Specifically around betrayal is what I'm feeling for this pile. And swapping up negative words with uplifting ones in your personal vocabulary or dictionary. Spending time in and around water is very important, especially waterfalls, rivers, lakes, or even beaches, whatever water body you have an access to. And if you do not, like I mentioned earlier, also spiritual baths will be very helpful for this pile. And meditation with water sounds, so water moving, maybe it's the sounds of waves or just a river flowing, or maybe just tap water or something, not something, when droplets keep dripping from tap water, or maybe it's the sound of the rain. So incorporating that more into your daily life or meditations around this would be very helpful. Okay, and from that perspective, because we had the 10 of pentacles and 2 of wands, right? So the more healing you do and the more soothing perspective that you begin to incorporate in your life, from there, when you start viewing your own family and all the generational patterns so that you continue healing them, is going to help. Plan your future with abundance in mind and not lack. Visualize everyone in your bloodline. It was a specific word, bloodline, so definitely your family, because we do have 10 of pentacles, being prosperous and healthy. And especially I was getting a father figure or father like figure, so this could be your father literally, or grandparent or grandfather. And how it's going to look like when this starts actualizing, when this lust plus lie starts actualizing for you in your life. I mean, that in itself would be very evident because you would be looking forward to everything, right? But the more evident signs would be, for that we have be bold and make the first move with the cardinal moon, which is cardinal zodiac signs, and zodiac signs are Aries, Libra, Capricorn, as I mentioned, and Cancer. And your hard work is paying off with a new moon in Capricorn. And we have believe in the impossible blue moon. So that is just literally telling you, you will be stepping more into your leadership energy. You'll be taking bigger risks without fearing the unknown. You will be very confident. And even if it's not confidence, you will be very confident about, the universe has your back. That would be a very strong mindset of yours, and you will step into the unknown. You will leap forth into the unknown. And the last thing that was coming to my, okay, before the last thing, the card that we have. So okay, I'm just going to summarize in case you didn't get the last part. But essentially, how you will feel that it's actualizing is you'll be more confident in exploring unknown territories and exploring new topics, and in exploring the strength of who you are by diving into things you were either afraid of or you thought you could never do. So definitely this is a lot about getting a lot of getting a lot of inspiration to explore the unknown, the uncertain things, right? And the last card that we have is an inspirational or an encouraging message from your higher self, and we literally have the red rose, and it says hidden secrets. The three things cannot be long hidden: the sun, the moon, and the truth, Buddha. And that, I mean, that in itself is a complete message, I feel. And the one thing that was coming to my mind was also, the truth will set you free, but first it will piss you off. So yeah, pile one, that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Do like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye. Hi, pile number two. If you chose the second image, this is your reading. So, as I had mentioned in the intro, I was about to say interview itself, that this reading is actually inspired by a song I used to like as a teen, and it's called When Love Takes Over. It's by David Guetta and Kelly Rowland. I hope I'm pronouncing her name correctly. And the first stanza is what inspired the entire spread of this reading. And the first part about, or the first thing that we are going to address is, excuse me, what complications are you facing? Because the first line itself is, or one of the first few lines contains this line which says, I know it's complicated, I know it is. And so we are going to look at what's complicated, or a mixed bag of energies for you right now, what's something that's, a challenge right now that you're moving through. And for that, we have discipline, I can accomplish what I set my mind to, and loneliness, I know that I am never alone. So it's just quite interesting for these two energies to show up, because the first thing that came to my mind was, you guys are trying to essentially, not just trying to, you're working on improving yourself, and clearly that track or pathway has not been full of support or even well wishers. I perceive that you might have seen people other than you in the world trying to do this and achieving things, and they find a lot of support in those around them. And specifically, I do feel like this could be a father figure or someone you definitely look up to, because when looking at the question as to what specific thing is a complication, for that we have the sorry, emperor. So one thing is very strongly coming through, and that is zodiac placements that have air energy, which is Gemini, Scorpio, sorry, Gemini, Libra, and Aquarius. And maybe some of you have Scorpio placements as well. And also Aries with the Emperor card there. And I have my notes like I did in the previous reading as well, so I'm going to go through them as we move along the reading. So for you, pile number two, let me just open my notes. Yeah, the complications were, I mean, what I was receiving with discipline and loneliness was unsupported and alone as you move through difficult times, and when you are improving at certain things or improving certain things, especially lack of support from somebody you look up to, someone who's not quite impressed, even though you have jumped a lot of hoops to impress them. It's like they are turning a blind eye towards your efforts and the achievements that you've been making. So I perceive that this is an area full of knots right now that you are stuck in, or feeling essentially lonely and not as recognized, or that's the problem area right now. How can you have more ease and clarity with this? So for that we have, just give me a moment, Page of Swords, Justice, and the Two of Wands. So the word research does come up a lot, especially with the Page of Swords. And I did mention Libra as a strong zodiac sign. So Justice is ruled by Libra. And no, so what I was receiving at that time was, know that you have attained a certain level of mastery, or that you are committed enough to your targets. You might find ease if you begin sharing your wisdom with society, especially through public schools or government schools, that was coming through very strongly, or some organizations or institutes related to government where you can share your information, or sorry, not your information, where you can share your wisdom, your knowledge. So this could be people who are, especially many a times when people are getting their resources or education through government schools, they might not be as wealthy or do not have access to a lot of resources. So right, so in that sense, people who may be not as privileged in society, helping them by sharing your wisdom will be very, very helpful for you to have clarity and ease with this, because I feel that will create a support for you, and also a recognition of your own prowess, of your own strength and capabilities as you do this. Also, for some of you, I was getting that pursuing a degree or some sort of education or doing a research in political science or humanities or subjects related to the public will be very, very helpful. So because it's with the two of wands here, it's going to widen your horizons about what is possible, especially in terms of what is ripe and ready and can be shared with the world. Because the more you interact with society, the more you interact with other people, the more you interact with public at large in some way, shape or form. So this could be, even if it's not physically sharing, like going to a place or conducting a workshop or classes, that could be one way. But this could very well be you sharing your wisdom online on a public forum or a public platform, social media and the internet. So doing this is going to improve your knowledge about how to deal with people. That's why uh, it's I mean, that is a very important skill in itself, but also it's going to help you move or shift your focus on wanting this attention from this emperor, who probably is not even ready or isn't even clear as to how to express their acknowledgement of you. It could be any scenario here. Although I do feel like this is a person who's very firm, very stern, and does not easily appreciate. And when you start doing this, when you are addressing or sharing information with those around you, with the world at large, it's we have the star at the bottom of the deck. It's clearly going to give you a lot of recognition. You will be a ray of hope to many. Pile number two. Now we are going to look at what is this, because there was a line in the stanza wherein it indicated that this person is waiting for a long time for this love to take over or to actualize. And in parallel, in yeah, congruence to that, I would say the question that I addressed was, what is a dormant treasure in you that you could utilize and that could help you revive your lust for life? So for that, we have Nine of Wands and the King of Cups. So your dormant treasure, pile number two, is that your resilience to hold your own, especially not letting emotional overwhelm get the best of you when you yourself are wounded and hurt. That is your dormant treasure. You will, and it's not out of ignorance. You know that you're hurt and you take care of it, or you address it. It's essentially emotional maturity. So you don't throw a tantrum, or you don't misdirect your anger or your anguish or any other energy that is explosive and it's not creating greater. You don't redirect it on somebody else. You are very stoic with the King of Cups here, very Buddha like energy, and that's a dormant treasure in you. That's one of your innate capacities. How can So next we are going to look at is how can you now actualize this and activate this so that your lust for life is activated. For that, we have King of Pentacles, Five of Cups, and the Seven of Swords. Now, the King of Pentacles is someone who is very abundant, someone who's very sure, very firm footed, very clear, has a very strong hold on their own reality, especially physical reality, is somebody who is grounded, because it's the King of Pentacles. And time and again, my attention was going to this apple, this cut apple here, and the apple energy, and especially when it's cut. So when I remember eating apple, even though sometimes it suits me or it doesn't, person. But regardless, the apple energy reminds me of something that's fresh, that is juicy and nutritious for your body. And we do have that old saying, don't we, that an apple a day keeps the doctor away. So somebody who is very, they're committed to being healthy in their heart, in their mind, body, and soul. Someone who's committed to being healthy in their mind, body, and soul. And so, a King of Pentacles is rich, abundant, and has a healthy mindset for growth, especially materially, identifying what's keeping them stuck in the past in terms of, the Five of Cups, which is losses, regret, anguish, resentment, identifying that, and then strategically with the Seven of Swords here, being smart enough to not take on that load and of the past unnecessarily when you are moving forward, then strategically moving past the past, and even people or situations who bring that energy up, so you know how to maneuver the situation energetically, especially in your own mind, or how to mold your mindset when people or situations bring up these past energies. You as a person do know this, as a human being or as a soul, you know how to do this, and teaching this to people is actually going to help you activate that dormant energy and dormant treasure, which will help you have lust for life again, which will help you revive your lust for life again. Why? Because when you're doing this for others, it is becoming a regular practice, so it's constantly active in your environment, in your atmosphere, in your energy, in your own ecosystem. So that's going to, teaching this to others is going to help you revive your lust for life. Now, how will you recognize that this has started actualizing in your life, or that we have? You are very close to achieving your goal, gibbous moon. The energy is gaining momentum with waxing moon, and we have adjustments are required, third quarter moon. So the interesting thing is with the moonology deck, and I use the moonology deck for this question, and all these are different phases of the moon, right? And in interestingly enough, I there are no zodiac signs that have shown up in these three cards. So what that tells me is, in everyday life you will begin to notice the progress, and stagnancy will begin to lift off of you. You will identify pain points quicker, and you will be able to mitigate them accordingly with the adjustments that are required. Your speed will be such, because you're as the card itself says, you will be gaining momentum, you will be gaining speed, and even at that speed you will be able to recognize what's working, what's not working, the adjustments that are required, and then you will be able to mitigate and take those steps that are required to bring balance into the situation. We do even have the temperance card at the bottom of the deck. There's a very progressive energy in your cards pile number 2, so recognize that the more you share it with the world, rather than trying to impress just the singular person, or this particular person, or maybe it's just an institute with the emperor, or the hierophant represents it, but I'm still getting this energy of institute. So this could be some literally a mentor in your college or at your workplace, or just your office as an institute, or your college or university or school as an institute. But moving past that and sharing your wisdom with the world, because the justice card was giving me a lot of government energy. So wherever you can work with the government to help people in some way, shape, or form, or just public in nature, beyond government, this is just like generally sharing your wisdom with the public, and others in the world. That's going to help you a lot, and especially with the justice card, it's going to help balance out the karmas as well, is another thing that I was receiving. And specifically this skill about learning how to deal with people, learning how to deal when a culmination point comes and people might be fretting, but helping them move out of that Five of Cups energy, where they think that the past might get, the horrendous or horrible past might get repeated, but you will be able to help them recognize any strategy or ways to move out of that situation wisely and without losing out on much, right? Without big losses with the Seven of Swords. The last card here is representing an inspirational message from your higher self, which is lily, and it says majesty and virtue. The lily is the emblem rare of many virtues, good and rare, unknown. I mean, the quote is from somebody unknown, and specifically the words majesty and virtue were coming up, and it literally reminded me of the two kings that have shown up in your dormant, treasure energy. The dormant treasure energy has the King of Cups, and how you can activate it has the King of Pentacles. Both are kings, but both are kings in the elements of feminine energy. One is about flow, one is about growth and a steady growth at that, even if the growth is slow. So, with the Lily card as an encouraging message from your higher self, I perceive that your higher self is just letting you know that you already have this majesty and virtue within you, which you might be trying to, you know, validate for yourself by seeking validation from somebody singularly here, which is represented by the Emperor card. But know that you innately have this. It's within you. You don't need somebody else to validate it for you. And lily, even with the white color, is, reminding me of peace time and again. So you know how to bring in peace, you know how to bring in clarity for those who are going through not just going through chaos, but who are stuck in their present moments because they are stuck in patterns of thinking or beliefs or emotions that are that are associated with a past that was not successful according to them, right? So you are innately having this nature, so try and activate it by speaking about this, by sharing your wisdom, the abundance of knowledge that you have with others, and let them know that they can be abundant too in any which way, right? By any which way, I mean they can be abundant in love, and it just love, friendships, connections, or within themselves. It just doesn't have to be money. That's what I was wanting to say. So, yeah, pile number three, that is all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Do like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you for joining, and I hope to see you in future readings. Bye bye. Hi, guys. If you chose the third pile or the third image, this is your reading. So, the reading is inspired by a song that I really liked. It's called When Love Takes Over by David Guetta and Kelly Rowland. I hope I'm pronouncing their names correctly. And the spread of the reading is also based on the first stanza of the reading or of the song. So the first line itself is, I know it's complicated, I know it is, or it's complicated, I know it is. So we are looking at what is complicated right now in your energy field or in your life in general. And for that, we have peace. I am a being of love and I release all negative energy. Failure, I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn. So certainly this is about, fear of making mistakes. And to maintain peace, you are not actually making any mistakes or giving yourself the room to make mistakes, and this is at the cost of your own peace of mind. It's like you don't want to rock the boat in some way, shape, or form by making mistakes. And there's a certain image that you are trying to keep up with, so I'm just reading through my notes because I made notes for the entire spread. And you want to keep up this certain image of someone who does not slip up at all, is at 100% all the time, which is actually not humanly possible, my dear pile 3. So please be at ease when it comes to this. You are looking up to or maintaining an ideal and if you break character, it will cost you a lot. That's the mind space you are in, and these are the complications. You're fearing listening to your heart. That's what I am receiving with these two cards, because even at the bottom deck we have empathy, wow, and blame beneath it. I'm open to seeing both sides of a situation. Maybe you realize that someone around you actually requires the space that you maintain, but it's coming at the cost of your own well-being, because you might be maintaining this peace or peace of mind for someone else by compromising your own needs, your own desires. Because in specification to this complication, like what's the specific energy when it comes to this complication, for that we have the Queen of Swords. Now, this is not a person. This is actually giving me the energy of the situation. When we were talking about maintaining an image about somebody, so Queen of Swords is someone who's very stern, very firm, clear headed, is ruthless when it comes to cutting off something that's not genuine, not true, or not catering or serving their people, right? This queen's people. So I wonder if you are wanting to keep up this image, or you are keeping up this image, but it's at the cost of your own well-being. So you're suffocating yourself with a lot of responsibilities, especially with the Queen of Swords. This could be like mentally suffocating yourself. You are holding on to ideals that are not letting you breathe, and not letting you have room for growth, even because there's a set standard that you're trying to fit into. And you might be a mentor to many people, and that's why you are not wanting to slip up or change things. And this does feel like something, or this maintenance of an image does feel like something that is blocking you, and it's suffocating you. That's the strongest energy coming through. Now, how can you have more ease and clarity with this? For that, we have, just give me a moment, we have a lot of cards here: the Chariot, King of Pentacles, and the Seven of Swords. And the bottom deck energy was Ten of Pentacles. So this was definitely giving me something associated with family or generational patterns and stuff like that. And for clarity and ease, just because others in your family or those around you got temporary success with, and temporary, by temporary I mean, the Seven of Swords energy, something that probably didn't last long, or was very small in quantity in some way, shape, or form. So just because some people got temporary success in your family, or their attempts to build a business or to establish an abundant life through choices that were true to them did not happen, does not mean that it has to be true for you as well. That is not your legacy. Please realize that you have the willpower to achieve. With the Chariot here, you have the willpower to achieve your dreams, or the dream life that you have been wanting to live, right? Especially because your approach with the King of Pentacles, it's very practical, it's grounded, and it is coming from a place of integrity. It is not coming from a place of falsehood or wanting to cut corners. You will not. You are someone who has a lot of integrity. So don't fear that you will not be able to actualize your dream life or what you would like to have, because you've seen that happen within your family line, right? So that's how you can actualize clarity and ease with this. And even with the Seven of Swords, what I'm getting is, which is interestingly enough falling right beneath the Queen of Swords, don't lie to yourself. Pile number three, in any way, shape, or form, if you're trying to stick up to an image that's not even true for you. Maybe you do wish to have a fulfilling, especially abundant, loving life, and even community based, but because you've experienced people go through, I am also receiving like some of the people in your family might have their image tarnished, and that's the reason why you need to put on a certain image. Please don't do that at the cost of your own well-being, because it's not helping you at all. It's just a pattern that needs to die out right now. It's not a pattern that you have to carry on, or you will be carrying on, because you have the willpower. With the Chariot card, you have awareness about your light and shadows, and how to, with the King of Pentacles, with integrity, move forward and even guide those, or if you're not guiding, but at least inspire those around you, because you will not give up for temporary gifts. You are not someone like that. You have a very grounded approach when it comes to life, and you deserve to have community if that is what you want, right? Pile number two, sorry, pile number three. Wow, I'm referring to pile number two time and again, I guess. Anyway, now moving forward to what is this dormant treasure within you, because within these lyrics that of the song that I was referring to, referring to, there is a line that comes up where this the line is actually about waiting for something for really long. And this prompted the question within me about this entire thing as to what is this dormant treasure within you that can revive your lust for life. And for that, we have Nine of Wands and the Knight of Cups. So, what that tells me is your dormant treasure is to inspire yourself, specifically emotionally, to keep moving forward when things are tough. With the Nine of Wands, it's Nine of Wands is like the wounded warrior, someone who's trying to defend themselves, but they are exhausted and tired, and it's all after the turmoil of a really big war, but the war is still going on, yet your resources are exhausted, or you feel exhausted or burnt out. But with the Knight of Cups, someone who is a dreamy person, someone who is very magical in their thinking, someone who's a charmer, who's very inspirational and has a strong intuition as well, someone who is extremely creative. So with you have that dormant capacity within you to creatively inspire yourself or keep inspiring yourself when you're committed to a certain goal, and especially through the tough times. The when the going gets tough, the tough gets going. That's the motto that's inherently in you. It's dormant. You need to bring that back to life, right? So how can you revive this? For that we have, or more than this, how can you revive your lust for life? For that we have the Death card, Two of Wands, and the Three of Pentacles. So Death is about transformation. So, transforming your view about how the world works with the Two of Wands here. Teamwork makes the dream work. You do not have to do it alone. Teamwork makes the dream work should be a motto that you embrace. Look at the whole picture or the whole project from a broader perspective, and how each intention, no matter how small it is, can bring about a transformation. Identify the skill each person in your team, if you have a team, has, or the team that you create, or the people around you. There's a lot about community here. So people, already existing around you, what skills do they already have, and let them shine in their own expertise fully. Don't try to guide them when they're shining brightly about something they're passionate about, or how they're genuinely invested in a skill of theirs that they're showing to you. Especially with the Three of Pentacles, it's about sharing your skills or shining your skills in front of others, or sharing your wisdom with others as well. And when they're doing that, let them have the center stage. Give words of encouragement. Don't criticize them, even if you see that there are some places that they can improvise. Let that improvisation play out naturally, rather than going in between, not even in between, even immediately. I'm just seeing an example here. If someone is sharing probably a presentation, a PowerPoint presentation, or some research that they have done, let them do that, let them complete everything, and let them share their own inference also after they complete it. And when it comes naturally in the conversation, or try to bring it naturally into the conversation, rather than pinpointing very specifically what's not working. So molding that and learning how to work with people, so that they don't feel less than you in any way, shape, or form, because you inherently have that King of Pentacles energy. You have that king like energy, right? So transform the way you view the world. Maybe people are not as fast as in learning as you are, pile number three. So give them that grace. Maybe things actualize or materialize for them. That knowledge that they gain might actualize or materialize for them at a slower pace than it does for you. And that's your skill set might be to learn quickly and practically apply things quickly, but for someone else, their skill set might be in probably learning slowly, but improvising that skill set in a way that serves the both of you, serves the entire project as a whole, right? So there, it's a very nuanced energy where you need to be more, listen more carefully to what people have to share, rather than, jumping to conclusions, because this conclusion jumping might be happening because of what you experienced in the past. Your energy has a lot of connection with the past, because we do have a card that says don't let your past hold you back, south node, right? So some of you might have a south node that does indicate that in a past life you must have had that king energy, that leadership energy. So a true leader lets each and every person in their team, including themselves, shine to their fullest, right? So that's going to help you embrace this energy more. I perceive that that's because the more you embrace everyone around you, the more you will be embracing your own shortcomings and your own strengths. The inner critic that I was talking about earlier, probably that inner critic is going to relax more, because you will have more allowance for everyone, including yourself, right? Pile number three. So moving forward, what are the signs that you will see when this is starting to actualize in your life? For that, we have new moon in Capricorn. Your hard work is paying off. Expect powerful change with new moon eclipse, and surrender to the divine with full moon. These three cards. So very powerful energies, because we have eclipse and we have full moon, new moon, all phases of the moon. So very interesting, through. Hmm. I perceive that the first biggest sign would be you will feel inspired regardless of which phase of your life you are in, or which phase you are in emotionally. Be it the new moon where the moon is not visible, and the full moon when it's overwhelming, right? It could be overwhelming. Maybe it's not for you, but in general. So both the extremes and then the eclipse energy as well, right? So all phases of the moon, especially the prominent ones, in that sense, all your prominent emotions that might rise up, you will be able to move through them, or maneuver that, or tread that pathway or that energy with much more ease and much more command and control. The other thing is, the more you embrace the teamwork dynamic, the more powerful or dynamic changes you will be able to see with the new moon eclipse. People might begin trusting you as the leader, and you will trust in the universe that the universe has your back like never before. And especially, I perceive that you will trust with the surrender to divine card in the full moon energy. You will start trusting your non physical spiritual team even more. And because you, yeah, I have written it again here, you will embrace your mistakes more as well. Embracing all of these phases of the moon, you will begin embracing your mistakes more, and thus you will be acting from a place of more authenticity, wouldn't you? Because you are much more at ease with learning from your mistakes. I understand that a mistake is only an opportunity to learn, right? So that's going, when that starts happening, be- you will also be in the world from a more authentic place. And one last card from your higher self as an encouraging message. For that, we have enlightenment, sacred lotus. No mud, no lotus. Sit or Thich Nhat Hanh. I hope I'm pronouncing their name correctly. If not, please do let me know in the comments what the correct pronunciation is. And with that, I was receiving beautiful things can show up from the dirtiest of situations. So do not give up too soon. And you have that dormant quality of not giving up too soon, or when you feel like giving up, creative ways to, enhance that energy, or eke out one last packet or pocket of energy to keep moving forward. And with no mud, no lotus, and the dirtiest of situations, because without the mud, the lotus cannot show up. And it is such a beautiful flower, just to not just to look at, and it has so many advantages in itself. right? So if you do not let the flower to grow, you will just look at it as a pile of shit, right? So let that dirty situation also give you awareness. Don't conclude that it is the end all of the entire situation. Just inspire yourself with the Knight of Cups as your dormant quality, the treasure that's dormant within you. Inspire yourself or listen to your intuition to recognize if it's time to leave or if it's time to keep moving forward, even when things, are not going your way. So, pile number three, that's all that I have for you. Thank you so much for joining. I hope that this was helpful in some way, shape, or form. Do share your thoughts in the comment section below. Do like, share, subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. Thank you so much for joining, and I hope to see you in future readings. Thank you. Bye bye.